Well, thanks for coming in, Adrian, Pam, and Judy. You were saying just before we started that you have a different thing going than when you were...
Well, I had turned around and figured last time we had our interview that my wife and I done 99% of the talking, done our airing, as you would call it. And I just thought that today would be a good time for Pam to do her airing on what she thought was wrong or what we do wrong that she doesn't like. I mean, I just thought it would be kind of fair for that.
Oh, what?
I mean, I don't know.
That was your idea about it.
That was my idea.
You're coming from a different place. Last time you were ready to talk.
Last time, well, I can still talk, but it would be repetitions of what I had said last time. And for a while there, she was doing real good, but she had gone right back to the old ways again. And so I would just like to find out what's
means different from.
Oh yes,
the
different
old
from
ways.
what the old ways were.
Oh,
Right.
we try once in a while. We give it a royal try, but it doesn't continue.
What is giving it? Of course, we don't know anything about what
Yeah,
the
you
trouble
don't know
is.
what
Yes,
we're
it's-
right.
yeah.
Well, what we
Apparently,
what
you got
we're
some
asking.
complaints about the way Pam does. They have some. What do they complain about?
Oh, I don't do the housework when I come home from work. All I want to do is come home, sit in front of the computer, and just stay on there. I don't do anything. I don't clean house. All I want to do is sit on the computer. That's the main complaint.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's only one of the small things. No, that's only one of the small things.
Plus, my attitude towards them is, on the rocks.
On the rocks.
It's shaky.
Bit.
A bit.
That's what I say, shaky.
What else?
I don't know what else.
Well, so far you're agreeing with what Pam's saying.
Oh yeah,
You just think it's slightly understated.
slightly.
Well,
She doesn't answer what she's talked to.
What we came for was for Pam to build her self-esteem. To be more cooperative at home. And to answer us when we talk to her. She doesn't give you an answer. One thing is, her and a friend went out to dinner the other night, and they came back, and I said, well, where did you go? Well, I think I finally did get an answer as to which restaurant they went to. And then I asked, well, what did you eat? You know, just idle conversation and trying to find out what they ate. They said, breakfast. So I sat there and I looked at them. I said, all right, breakfast. This was, 6 o'clock in the evening. Fine. I mean, if you want breakfast, that's fine. So I asked again, what did you eat? And I got breakfast. I said, well, I guess I'm not going to ask this question again. I never did find out what they really ate. It was just breakfast, and I don't know what breakfast was.
Well, one thing I notice is that you, Judy, and Adrian, when you talk about Pam and the way she's difficult with you or brushes you off or tells you something that doesn't make sense or whatever, you join in laughter about it. At the same time, I see Pam's eyes filling with tears, like you're really upset about
She does this all the time.
The way
she
that-
does get very upset.
the way they talk
yes.
about you, or perhaps you're upset about other things
Well, no.
than the
we're-
things that
we're-
are being talked about.
I would think that the reason why we are laughing at it is because it's been going on for so long, for so many years, that at home we don't do this. We are trying to stay calm.
You mean
I am trying to keep my temper down. Because
so
sometimes
you're sort of
I do-
laughing off tension then.
Here tonight, yes.
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 Same for you?
Yeah, I would say, probably I didn't ask, laugh afterwards, but I did say, well, what did you have for breakfast? What did you eat? And there was still no answer, so then I...
Like today to get here, 4 o'clock, I asked her, Pam, it's 4 o'clock, time to take a shower. She's 30 years old, I shouldn't have to tell her this, right? But I turned around and told her, I says, Pam, it's 4 o'clock, time to take a shower. She doesn't get in the shower until 5 o'clock. So she doesn't get out of there until, what was it, 20 to 6? So this puts me behind. At 5 o'clock, I was supposed to be taking my shower, not at 6 o'clock. You have to tell her, and then she'll put it off for as long as possible without doing stuff. Now, I got angry. I'm trying to hold my temper here. Because I do get angry, and I do yell, and I do throw a fit. I mean, it's...
Now,
You throw a fit, you mean hit as well?
No.
Not
No.
anymore. Not anymore. I
Will
think
you
I
hit
would
the wall
rather
or something?
bang the wall or bang the table or get up and leave and totally leave for a while than to hit her anymore. I'm not saying I didn't do it when she was younger, trying to get her attention to get things going. But she still wouldn't do it then. I found out that a spanking
It's an ongoing
wouldn't help
thing.
when she was younger.
you know, I noticed you seemed to have tears in your eyes when your parents were laughing. When your dad started to talk about getting angry and how he was just controlling his anger, then you started to smile.
Because it used to hurt when he hit me. And when he jumps,
And I what?
when you jump,
When I jumped.
you know how you jump at me with anger?
I don't jump at you with anger any longer.
You
Well,
just-
yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. She's referring to it when I really yell at her to get going. Now I'm really angry again, and I'll yell at her, and I'll maybe say, God damn it, or something like that. Get moving. You know, now that's what she calls by jumping at her.
Is that what you mean, Pam?
I think that's what she means.
See, I thought she meant that you were jumping on her.
No.
And I can see you're a really big person.
Yeah.
You've got a strong voice and probably pretty scary.
I try to use the voice more than anything.
Yeah. But even though you look big and strong and powerful, at the beginning of the session here, I heard you telling Pam that she should move
Switch
and not
seats.
sit in the middle.
Right.
And I thought, maybe you learned that last time, or maybe you've been on this for a while, but,
Well, no, go ahead, I'm sorry.
but you didn't want her to sit there. But she's sitting there, I see.
Well, again, she's 30 years old. And I still think she should respect us, and if I said she should sit at the end, I think she should have gotten up and sat at the end, because I wanted her closer to, last time we only had one gentleman sitting at that seat. So I just thought that if she sat closer to the therapist or whatever, it might be a little bit easier for her. I don't know. You know,
Well,
but I'm
Pam-
just trying to use my own psychology, my own.
But that was your
Did
idea.
you
Right.
did you have a reason to stay away from me? Like,
No,
you feel
I
more
just-
protected with them?
I just like sitting in the middle.
I thought Pam was wanting to sit in the middle between her parents. I wondered if you were trying to have it so she wasn't between you and Judy.
Oh, no. No, only that she would be closer to the therapist.
But Pam's idea was to
You
be
know.
in the middle between your two parents.
Right.
What do you like about being in the middle?
I don't know. I just like sitting in the middle. That's my favorite thing.
And does that happen at home?
Especially at the dinner table. Dad's on the left. I'm right here. Mom's over there.
That make you feel really that you've got a secure place? Now, when you smile about that, it looks to me as though that makes you really happy.
Even though they're mad,
Yeah, even though I'm mad.
or maybe because they're mad. I realize that doesn't quite make sense, but it is the case. They're both mad, and you're in the middle. There must be a reason it's better off in the middle if they're mad than off on your own somewhere where you don't have to hear them being mad at you.
You're thinking about it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I like sitting in the middle. I don't know why, but I'm comfortable with it.
Have you been aware of that for
Well, she does sit in the chair in the middle, you know, because
That's
we're
what you
both
wanna
on each
call it.
end.
You know, I'm on
Yeah.
one end, she's at the other end of the table, and she would be like in the middle.
Are there other kids in your family?
No,
Pam's it.
Pam's it.
Was that a decision that you just wanted one child, or did you
She's
suffer?
adopted, so.
You looked upset or something,
Yeah.
Judy, as we asked about that.
Okay, I'll tell you why. I had a son, and he committed suicide 10 years ago.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
no, she takes it very hard, but not as hard as I do. Excuse me.
Can you say more about it?
He won't.
Came home from work, found him in the bedroom, blew his brains out. I don't know what else to say. You know, it's no rhyme, no reason, no note, no nothing. The coroner called up that evening, turned around and says, "Please tell me that he was on dope. Tell me what kind of dope he was on." Same question, the look in your eyes. Why would I want him to be on dope?
Well, you wanted a reason.
That's right. A reason. Give me a reason. There's still no reason. I cannot visit his grave. It's been 10 years, over 10 years. I cannot visit his grave. I cannot go there.
Because you're tortured that you don't know why,
I would assume so.
and you're angry at him for what he's
I
done
would
to
assume I
you.
am. I would assume I am.
Because
I would
look,
assume I can't
look how
let it
he's
go.
left you hurting.
Oh, yeah. And I figured that's part of her problem, too.
Yeah. How?
But it was going on before that. This has been going on before that.
Yeah, but I think a lot more is now.
Well, things were going on with Pam before that.
Oh, yes.
But let's
Oh,
stay
yes.
with this, Judy.
Yes.
What do you figure?
I just feel she's hurt because she doesn't have her brother to come to talk to and be with all the time.
Were you close to your brother, Pam? What was his name?
Victor.
I didn't hear.
Victor.
Peter.
Victor.
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 Tell me about Victor.
We were real close. We were confiding each other. And I was like, I have no one to talk to.
I told you can always talk to us.
Is Victor older or younger than you?
Younger by 4 years.
What was he like?
Oh, we would do so much together. So many things. That's why I sit in my room.
Is that where you and he would talk together, do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but you would sit in your room long before that, long before Victor had done that.
Well, it may have been a favorite place of hers then, but now it has a new meaning.
Yeah, I understand that part.
Is the room the place you feel Victor is for you? I wonder if that's more important than the computer.
Well, that wasn't the room he done it in. The room he done it in is the room she decided to go sleep in now. And she used to spend, before the computer, she used to go and spend a lot of time just sitting in the bed, and just sitting on her bed and playing with her toys, sitting on her bed. Now she does the same thing. She's got these little hand games, you know. She plays with that, or she'll sit down and play solitaire for hours on end
In a
in
room?
the room.
What are you thinking about when you're there?
Oh, I just don't really think of anything. Just sit there.
Just sit there.
And now we have a dog, so
We've always had a dog.
yeah, but still,
We've had a dog since you were born.
Well, let's hear what she's got to say about it. The dog means something.
yeah, it does.
What's he
Get to
mean?
play with her. You know, she sleeps in my room when it's time to go to bed. You know, the dog keeps me company now.
When you're really lonely for Victor?
See, I didn't want to really bring it up because, let me put it to you this way. Pamela will tell you what you want to hear.
Meaning what?
Meaning that she's very smart. When she sort of figures out, she'll sit there and just listen for a period of time, and then she'll tell you what you want to hear to satisfy you. It doesn't sound, I don't know if it sounds, but she is that way.
Now,
Instead of telling you the truth, she'll tell you what she thinks you want to hear,
what do you think?
which would appease you.
What would that be?
Well, just like now, when she says about the dog,
No.
it's her dog. She brought the dog home as a pup. We said no dogs, but she brought it home. I told her to get rid of it. She didn't get rid of it. Well, has it been 4 years now? We still got the dog. She still hasn't got rid of the dog. But
What are you thinking that she'd tell us that it wouldn't really be true?
that she's, well, I'm not going to say that, not that she doesn't miss Vic, but that she thinks about him as much as she says she does.
You don't think she's thinking about Vic?
No, her mind is totally somewhere else. It's either on the computer, playing games on the computer, or in her room playing the games, and that.
Well, let me interrupt you a little bit, because Judy, I was noticing that you looked a lot like you were suffering as Pam was starting to talk about Victor.
Very much so.
What can you say about it?
I can't talk.
Is this true whenever you think about Victor?
Yeah. It's hard to talk about. Remember good times. It's all right. I can't bring up the other things, about him. It's hard.
You can remember the good times, and then there were some times with him that weren't so good, that are really hard to talk about?
Oh, you always have a kid that it's, he wasn't a bad kid. He was never a bad kid.
He was mischievous. He was, as you would call him, I think.
He was a typical boy.
Typical boy.
That's all. He was not a bad kid.
So he could do stuff that was little trouble.
He was
Yeah, I'd say a little trouble.
he was a good kid.
There was nothing that he would do really wrong.
He was really helpful around the house and stuff. He loved to cook. He loved to help clean house. He'd get on her case about cleaning up the house and stuff. So
Gave her a hard time?
Oh yeah, all the time. So because he knew, because I worked and he knew that he had, the housework had to be done before I got home and dinner, started or table set. And if she wouldn't do it, he'd get on her case about it, and the two of them would work together on doing things. But now she doesn't have him there to yell at her all the time to do this or do that, so.
So she gets you to yell at her.
Yeah. More or less, yeah. I think they were fairly close together, yeah. It was a great job to all of us.
Pam, what do you?
I would say fairly, I say pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very close with him.
Did you feel close to Victor?
To him? Oh, yeah. He was when I was a little boy.
Was he adopted too?
Yeah.
How old was he when you
He
adopted
was
him?
when he was adopted, he was just a baby. They were both babies. They were,
She
I
was
think
their
she was
Christmas
about
baby.
Oh, 2 weeks before Christmas.
She was about 2 weeks old when we brought her home, and he was about a week old when he came home.
Mm-hmm.
So they were,
So presumably you hadn't been able to have children?
No.
How long had you been trying?
8 years, at least.
good 8 years or better, yeah.
Before Pam?
Well, before PM, it was maybe 5 or 6 years.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
6, 7
Yeah.
years. If you ought to figure at 8, it was close.
Yeah.
No, we had gone to doctors and everything else.
sure. So then getting the kids was really important to you
Oh, yeah.
because you'd already been, I assume you'd been under strain about not being able to have children?
Well, I guess so. We wanted them, but, not being able to. And she was our little Christmas baby. She was brought home on December 18th, so that was our Christmas present.
So Pam was like a very wonderful gift. And imagine
They both
Victor
were.
too,
They
4
both were.
years later.
Yeah, he was born in January, so a little late for Christmas, but very special.
How did Pam react when you presented her with Victor?
Oh, she loved him, yeah. She would help with him, feed him, hold him. And she was really pleased with him.
I didn't get. I didn't get angry. I was excited.
So,
Now, I'm wanting to encourage you to tell us some more about Victor because it sounds like you haven't talked very much about him
No,
since
we
his
don't.
death. Has that been true ever since his death?
Yep.
You just don't talk about it.
Yeah. It's, I guess what you say, it's easier left alone. Because like I said, she used to go to the grave minimum of once a week.
She is.
I don't know how often.
Judy?
And I says, I tried several times. I tried on my own several times. And I just
Can't do it.
can't do it. My sister just passed away not too long ago. A couple months ago
a
anyway.
year.
It's been a year?
No.
Since Christine?
Year in February.
Yeah, well, time flies. But she was laid out, of course, and actually go visit the rest of the graves. And I got there by him, and I had to turn around and walk away and bust out crying. I just. Oh, how can I say I'm very angry?
You could visit.
see that.
Gotta say I lost one of my best buddy.
Was he
Yeah.
your best buddy?
Yeah, I considered him. Even though when he wouldn't do stuff, I'd get angry at him and holler at him and threaten him and everything else, just like most fathers, I guess, do.
Did you hit him?
When he was younger. What you would call a correctional spanking, take him and whack him across the backside and raise him up off the ground a little bit, that type of thing, but nothing to injure him. Nothing to injure him.
What I notice about what you're saying is that you can talk a bit about Victor. You've talked a little bit about Victor. Well, it's hard for both of you. But what you can't do is go to his grave together.
Oh, I can't. I've
It's-
tried.
You've tried alone,
I've tried with her.
and you've tried together. You can't do it
I
together.
can't do it. I just can't do it, period.
And I'm thinking that's probably really hard for you that you have to do it alone rather than have your husband with you to
I'd
help
rather
with
be
it
alone.
at this point. Well, what I'm thinking though is that the loss of Victor, that is something that you two share. It's a very deep pain following a very great gift. And I have the feeling that Pam sits between you to prevent that loss being dealt with. She sort of partly fills in for Victor,
Oh, she
And-
tried.
and partly
She
she
tried.
tries to be the opposite of Victor,
tried.
because of course she isn't Victor.
She tries to do a lot of things that he did.
Like
And she
what?
tries to, she'll go out and mow the grass and take the garbage out. And she does, she does her,
Those were his chores before?
yeah.
Yeah. No, I do.
So she does
So
fill
you're
in
trying
for
to
him.
be your father's buddy?
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, she likes to go out with him a lot. She doesn't care to go with me that often. But
Was
she'll
that
go-
true before Victor died?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
No, used to go with me too.
The only thing is, with Victor and I would go fishing, Victor and I would go hunting in the wintertime. You know, it would be Vic and I. It would be, you call it male bonding type thing,
Sure.
you know. And I guess maybe call it selfish. I don't know. Maybe it's, I'm thinking that it's, you know, maybe it's me that's going a little goofy here or something because I lost, and I'll never be able to have what I did have with him. She tries. She used to go fishing with me quite a bit. Then all of a sudden she stopped.
When was that?
I don't even remember. I don't remember when she stopped.
Well,
I mean, I haven't gone fishing in a long time either. So.
did she go fishing with you after Vic died?
Yeah, a couple
A
times.
couple times, yeah.
Didn't catch nothing. Darn it.
Never caught anything. Your father never could catch fish.
You can't catch them.
I can't catch
just
fish.
go.
I just go.
Could Vic catch fish?
No, not really.
Yeah. A lot better than you could.
I just like to go out to the lake and sit there and what we call still fishing with like the old bamboo pole, but we got the fiberglass poles and just put them out there and just sit out there by the water and let the sun hit you and stuff like that, you know.
You just enjoy sitting there doing nothing
Yeah, okay. Sitting there doing nothing.
and not catching anything either. I mean, after an hour of not catching anything, I'm ready to go home.
An hour, 15 minutes.
The fish aren't biting. You're not going to sit there and wait for the fish to come to you.
Whereas for him, that's a good day.
Oh, yes, that's a terrific day for him. Yes, yes. He could go out there at 6 o'clock
Hours?
in the morning and not come
No,
home
4
until
o'clock.
6. And
4
enjoy
o'clock.
sitting
Go.
there and doing nothing.
Judy, when you go to the grave, you want to be alone.
More or less, yeah.
What do you think about it?
I just talked to him.
What about, what kinds of things do you have to say?
Just that I miss him. And how much I loved him. And things like that. That's all. It's got hard. It's hard going there.
But you make yourself do it.
Do you feel in touch with him when you go, Judy? Do you feel he hears you or gives you any comfort?
I hope he does. Oh no. No. It's hard out there.
And it sounds as if it's not getting any easier as the years go by. Is it?
I haven't gone as much. I was out there last week, I guess. I guess for Easter I went out there. I didn't make it for his birthday. And I didn't make it for Christmas this year.
Too hard.
No, it was just didn't get the time to get out there, I guess. Things weren't just gelling together all during the holidays.
Is it easier not to go, or do you feel bad if you don't go? Do you feel you miss him?
I think about it that I should have been there. Usually I take flowers for his birthday or for Christmas. I put a fresh flower out there for him. I guess I felt guilty this year. I didn't do it.
It's a hard question, but did you feel guilty about anything about his death?
Maybe I didn't tell him I loved him, but after I got to talking to him that day, I don't know.
The day he killed himself? Had you had a fight?
No, it was just that we were supposed to go shopping, and I asked him. I had dinner on the stove, and I asked him to cook it. And I thought, well, we were supposed to go to a Christmas party, and I was going to take him out that night, maybe to buy him a new pair of pants and maybe a sport jacket or something. And I didn't tell him that I was going to do this. And he had been asking about getting a pool table, and naturally Dad had said the pool tables are too big for the basement because our basement is finished and there's not enough room. And I said, well, maybe we could find something smaller. And I thought, well, when I take him out shopping, we'll look, even though Dad said no, we'll take a look and maybe we can change Dad's mind. But I never said that to him. So
Maybe that had something to do with it. Just in your mind as you think about it.
yeah.
Well, then does that mean you're angry at Dad as well? That
No,
maybe he
no.
set a limit that frustrated Victor?
No, I don't. No.
No.
So, no, it's just a combination of, I guess, the things. And I know one night he said something to me, and I looked up at him, and I thought to myself, gee, you're so handsome, and you're you're such a good kid. But I didn't say that to him out loud. Mm-hmm. But the thoughts were always there. Because he was taller than me, and he always teased me about being taller than me when he got that tall. So
How old was he?
he was
16.
going on 17. He would have been 17.
Do you have any explanation for his killing himself?
No. I have no idea.
Well, she's been saying she thinks that if he had known more clearly how much she loved him, maybe he wouldn't have. That's what you're tormenting yourself with, I think.
Well, I think he knew I loved him, but it's just, I didn't tell him that day.
That more love would have kept him alive. More
Or saying it more.
Yeah.
So the night before, I was downstairs watching television. He came home, came downstairs and sat downstairs with me for about a half hour. Then he went upstairs and says, "Good night, Dad, I love you." And I says, "Good night, I love you too." But it's one of the things that he very rarely ever said to me, is that I love you, Dad. Mm-hmm. And it struck me real funny. But I didn't think nothing of it. So I just let it go, and the next day, of course, I get up before he got up, and I was going to work, and when I came home, I paid no attention to where he was or what was going on, and then I think she called, and so I went and I looked for him because she said that he's supposed to have dinner on the table or something, or on the stove ready, getting it ready. So I went looking for him, and I tried the bedroom door, and he had the bedroom door locked because my father was living with us at that time, and he was about 85 then. Mm-hmm. And so I finally got the door open, and when I seen it, the first thing I done was call the paramedics.
You're the one who found him.
Yeah.
That must have been a horrible sight.
And first thing I did was call the paramedics, and then I moved everything out of the way so that they can come in with the gurney. Mm-hmm. And made sure my father understood to sit on the chair and not move. Because at 85, he was sort of senile and, and wanted to make sure. And then I turned around and called her and told her to drop everything, drop what you're doing.
Get home.
Just grab your purse and come home immediately. And she did.
Mm-hmm. And she didn't know, but you didn't know why.
No,
You just
I wouldn't
came
tell her
home.
why on the phone.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't tell her why on the phone. And then by the time she came home, her boss called, and I told her. And, it was only minutes later that she came home.
And where were you then, Pam?
I was at
She was at school.
school.
She was in college.
Oh, you were
College.
away?
She was in
Were you
community
away or
college.
commuting?
No, she was just at the school in
South
the
Suburban.
neighborhood.
At that time, I was Thornton Community,
Okay.
and at that time, I was a student worker. Go to school and then go to work.
Yeah.
Right there. Didn't have to go outside. I was on my way home. And I'm wondering, what is an ambulance doing from my house?
Yeah.
Hello? So, get in the house? No, I didn't get in the house.
No, I stopped you.
And I see my buddy Mark, and then all of a sudden I see him pulling Victor out.
So you saw it before you knew, before you'd been told. Wow.
We have a little light in our bedroom that goes on automatically, so she can say that's Victor's way of coming back at us. He hasn't come back lately. Oh, he hasn't. The light used to go on every evening.
Every once in a while by itself.
No, it was every night at the same time.
And he hasn't done it lately, though.
Well, that's a theme that I heard from you, Judy, that it wasn't as easy for you to find Victor lately. That you couldn't get to his grave as easily. And is there a sense that it's harder to hold on to him? To hold on to the memory?
But of him,
Yeah.
no. He'll always be there.
What I'm hearing is that although you never talk about it, almost never, is that?
Well, the other day I turned around, a month ago or so, I was dusting off the albums and I started going through them. And of course, I turned around and told her, I went through those that had Victor's pictures and I cried like a baby.
Oh, we'll talk about him if we're at a family affair or something and something comes up. It'll be casually mentioned. Well, what he did or things about him, or if somebody says something. But most of the kids know, nieces and nephews know that it isn't brought up as often. Once in a while, a conversation might come up about him.
Well, what I was thinking was that it seems to me that the three of you as a family are doing something that's a way of keeping Victor with you by having Pam stay at home, be in the middle between you,
Fill the spot.
fill the spot, be in the bedroom, and that in a way it has the three of you stuck, as though you have to be stuck in this pattern, fighting with Pam, for instance, to replace Victor, as though you'd lose him if you changed anything.
I don't feel that. I don't feel that because she lives in the house. There's certain things that if you live in a house, you have to do. Mm-hmm. You have to clean the house. You have to cook. You have to eat. You have to do things. There are things that have to be done in the house. And if I don't get on her to do them, she won't do them. She won't do anything.
Well,
Like today I told her absolutely nothing until 4 o'clock to take a shower.
But see, those things you mentioned, the cooking and the cleaning, those are things that Victor did.
Yeah, but so did she.
She didn't
They done them
do it.
together.
They
But
did 'em
yeah,
together.
but
done 'em
it's
together.
like partly she's doing things to stay close to Victor, like listening, being in the room, staying where he was, and partly she's doing things to be the opposite of Victor, to not please you, to not clean, to not. And I'm thinking, Pam, you must be in a struggle of wanting to join Victor and knowing that you must not do so, otherwise you'll lose your life.
Yeah.
So it seems to me you stick right close between your parents pretty much to stay alive, to meet their needs, to have someone there take Victor's place, and then to fight against it by being obnoxious or dependent or unhelpful around the house, to be different.
That's what I want to change, though. I want to start.
You want to change that?
I want to change in a positive way. More cooperation at home.
She's
I'm
usually,
trying.
she's usually very negative.
But you say you're trying, Pam.
Yep.
As a way of being yourself, then, to find out who yourself is.
I was thinking, I just wanted to add to what you were saying, that it's not just to stay alive, although that's part of it, is it, Pam? To keep
Well,
yourself alive?
I want to do what he did.
You would like to kill yourself too?
No,
do you?
No way.
She said,
No, she said she won't do that.
She wouldn't
You
do
would
that.
not do
She
that.
said, no, she has always said that. I mean, from day
No.
one, she has always
Yeah,
said that.
but I'm saying, it seems to me being between your parents is like it keeps the love alive. You think so? So then you really couldn't afford to leave the spot between them because it's like the love wouldn't be there.
No, it's just, I just want to change my attitude, my anger.
What do you think you're so mad about?
Well, I go to work, I come home, he's sitting in front of the TV, watching TV. You know, I like a break once in a while from cleaning house. Why can't he do it at least one day?
If he did it, then he'd be like Victor helping you out.
Yeah.
At least one day. Why don't I do it?
No, but I don't think you're hearing what you're saying. I don't think it's about whether you're lazy or not.
No, it's not.
No.
I understand that.
Well, wait, let me say it. She'd like you to join her like Victor used to.
And if you ask her, the day I usually clean house is usually on Wednesdays. It's the day I usually clean the house. Now I would ask her, she's off on Wednesdays, so I would ask her, can you vacuum the house and vacuum the floors? And when now she usually doesn't get up until about maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock.
No, not
Yeah, what
always.
time did you get up today?
1:45.
Quarter to what?
10.
Oh, excuse me. Call me later for 45 minutes.
I think something's happening right now that I'd like to talk about.
Go ahead.
I think you're about to get mad at her.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now-
pretty close.
Now, you can usually find things to get mad at her about.
Pretty close. Oh, I can always
gives
find
plenty.
something to get mad at her about
Right.
because she doesn't listen. She won't.
But wait a minute. I think
Hold the
now it's
responsibility.
happening because we're in very sore territory.
Oh no. No.
Well, I think
No,
about
you're
it.
talking. You're talking. No. You're talking. If you're saying because of Victor, no, because of the territory that we're talking about is because of Victor. No.
Well, it's a way
No.
out.
No.
See?
I don't think so.
Well, let me say it, and then you can
Here, say
you
it.
can think about it. I think that this is so painful that it's easier to get in a scrap with Pam, because she gives you lots of opportunity, than to stay with the pain of this loss. And Pam has actually, over the last few minutes, been talking a lot about trying to do things that would move beyond the stuck place.
Right. Now, see, I don't agree with you, David. I don't think this is about Victor. This is about Pam. And Pam's saying, I want to change. I want to improve my attitude. I want to become helpful and so on. And I'm saying to myself, well, if you were successful, the next thing you'd do is leave the house. You'd be living in a group home. You'd, live with other young people. You wouldn't be with your parents. And I think that would be another loss for you, even though you might wish for it. It would be a loss again to get over. And for you, Pam, you wouldn't have your parents there helping you to feel safe.
Right.
And I think as soon as you go live in a group home with other young people, it raises the question, might you meet someone? Might you have a child of your own? That's got to be something that you must be quite afraid of.
No, I wouldn't live in a group home. I go home now.
You want to stay there.
You feel you want to stay with them and be their child forever and never have a child of your own.
Oh, I will eventually. But it's going to take time.
But this
Problem
means,
is, you don't got much. You don't got. You don't have much more time, Pamela.
well, this means that, Pam, that you can't grow up have a sexual life of your own?
I don't know.
You can't have one if you're at home in your room with a computer.
I don't know. I just don't know.
And you feel that your parents need you to be their child at home.
They need someone at home.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do I need anybody at home other than your mother?
Oh, you need me too.
Why?
I don't know.
He's teasing.
Why? That's right. I wouldn't have nobody to
Someone
say.
to pick on.
I wouldn't have to say, Pam, get me a can of pop. All right.
Pick on me.
And she does go out. She goes out every night.
And I'm
goes
putting a
out.
stop to that
So
because the work does not
it
get
is
done.
not that she stays home every night. She does go out. So
What do you think?
Well, it seems to me we're probably nearing
we're
the
okay.
end of our time,
We
are
have,
we?
we have a few more minutes.
A few more?
Well, I think that the three of you just you seemed to get past the pain and kind of began joking together in a very friendly, loving way.
I usually joke around. I usually joke with her 99% of the time.
I think what Pam was saying did relieve a lot of pain. When she said, you need her, she's going to be there, even though part of you says, Pam, you got to go have a life of your own. You don't have so much more time to have a child.
Tell her that all the time.
But even though, when she says, no, I'm going to stay home and be your child, I think it relaxes the pain. And I think unless you could, together, all three of you, mourn Victor, who's painfully no longer here. So that would mean when Pam had a life of her own, it would be just the two of you. And it might mean you would even miss him more again. That unless that
Because you'd
could
be
happen.
back to where you were before you got him. Or
Before you-
Pam.
Yeah. Unless you could do that grieving and crying and talking, Pam won't feel free to go ahead and have a life of her own. Because right now she's decided that she's going to be the child who stays home to take care of her parents.
I'd rather her be the child to go out and give me grandchildren.
I can hear that a big part of you would like that.
This is what I would
But I
rather.
think among the three of you, it's such a relief when she says, don't worry, I'll stay, that everybody relaxes and you fall into the old pattern. Even though it's a problem, it's such a relief it takes over. You're crying.
we keep telling her goodbye.
And she keeps saying hello.
Keep telling her, don't let the door hit you.
But no, I don't know. I just want her to have a good future, you know. She doesn't have to be with us. She won't.
And from what we can see, she can't handle herself. She can't do things for herself. She won't do things for herself to show us that she can handle it herself.
Well, because as long as
And
she
this is where I
can't,
am getting.
as
But
long
you
as
do
she,
have a
what I'm
job, don't
afraid
you,
of.
Pam?
Yeah.
You have a job.
I'm sorry.
Is it a full-time job?
No, part-time.
what's your job?
I work in a grocery store. Stock.
See, I wonder if, as long as you look like you couldn't manage on your own, then your parents don't have to feel guilty about you're staying home and they're taking care of you while you're taking care of them. And there's kind of an idea that the three of you share, well, she needs it after all, so it's okay. But it may be that the reason she acts as though she can't take care of herself so much is that if she grew up and could take care of herself, then she'd have to leave and leave you so terribly alone and feel so lonely yourself, Pam.
I really don't want to move out. Either way I do it, either way I don't.
Yeah.
Because you won't have Dad cooking your dinner for you no more.
No.
Cooking breakfast.
Which he likes to do, I guess.
He gets up every morning
Yeah, he
and he cooks breakfast for her every single morning.
Well,
And makes
where
her
else is
lunch.
she going to get that?
And gets her lunch ready and shoves her out the door.
Well, I think
So-
all three of you are very caring about
Devoted.
each other and really devoted, which is important. The only problem part of it is that there's a way in which you all agree Pam isn't growing up and moving towards a life of her own. And to do that, you'd have to be able to take the loss of Pam as the person who fills both spots, Victor's and her own. And you'd have to take that loss too, Pam, in order to have something
Yeah.
else.
Oh, we leave her alone on weekends. We go away on weekends, and because we have a place in Michigan, so we
Well,
go
sure.
up there, and
Well, it might
and she's
be,
left
that's a way
alone
of starting it.
to do her chores. And I should say she does do her chores when she's
When
alone.
you're away? Well, that's really something to think about.
That she's able to do it. And her reason for not doing it is the kind of thing we've been
She
talking about.
it may take her forever to do them, but she does get them done.
Well, maybe.
But
Well, I think this is what we'd want to say to you at the end of this time together, that Victor's loss was such a great loss for all three of you that in these ways it's hard to get past it. But for Pam to get on with her life, and for the two of you to get on with yours, of being a couple again, you'd have to be able to talk about this loss, to cry about it together, maybe to get to where you could visit the grave.
I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no. to that.
I'm not trying to get you to do something tonight. I don't mean that.
No, I mean, maybe another 10 years. I don't know. Maybe next year. Maybe tomorrow. I don't
But
know.
of course, you say Pam doesn't have
Yeah.
that much time. Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, we've given you some things to think about, and you have given us some things to think about. We're very grateful that you came in to talk with us.
thank you for
Thank you.
Thank you.
been helpful too.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
As you watch this video and you get a chance to reflect on it, is this a good example of object relations work?
I think this is the way that we work, and it's an example that's right in the center of what we'd like to demonstrate. The